Knox podcast. My name is Leah Nicole, or Nikki for those that know me. I am the host of this podcast. Here at Knox Podcast, we believe in a true living God who is knocking on the door of your heart. But not only is he knocking on the door of your heart, he wants to hear from you. He wants to have a relationship with you, and he's ready to answer and reveal to you how beautiful it is to know him. I'm so happy to be seated here and to be, sharing a nice conversation with you guys. If you guys have been keeping track of, Knox podcast, you probably have noticed that our setup is a little bit different on this episode. And that's just because we wanted to switch things up a little bit. I wanted just to, kick back, relax, and make you feel nice and cozy at home. And yeah, I really hope that today's episode is a blessing to you. And I hope that you can share this video with someone who you also think that it could be a blessing to. So I know it's been some time since we last sat here and had a conversation. I think the last episode was around the beginning of March last month, and now we are in April, a new month, new beginnings. So we actually wrapped up our 5-part series, which was a roadmap to the new year, which was a blessing to myself, and I really do pray that it was a blessing to your life. But just to talk about a little bit about where I've been, just to, get you guys up to speed. It's definitely been an eventful past few weeks. There's been a lot of knocking going on over here on this end. There's been a lot of seeking, a lot of answered prayers. And that's actually exactly what we're going to be talking about on today's episode. Today's episode is going to be titled, He Answered. So we want to be focusing on today on what happens when God answers your prayer. What happens when he answers? What happens when he gives you something that you have been asking of him? And how are we going to steward what he's placing in your hands? And whatever that may look like for you. Maybe you had asked for a new job and you got that job. Maybe it was a position and you got that position. Maybe you were praying for a spouse and now you have a spouse. Maybe you were praying for or maybe you were praying to get into a school and you got into that school. Maybe you were praying for, breakthrough and you had that breakthrough. Maybe you were praying to get healed and you got healed. Whatever it may be, I can assure you that if you actually look around right now and just look at wherever you find yourself, you have to be sitting in at least one of your answered prayers. So, at the beginning of, every year, I know we all usually have like our desires, our resolutions, things that we have in mind that we are presenting to the Lord. But going into this year, if I'm being really honest with you guys, the only thing that I said to the Lord was, Lord, help me to be faithful with exactly what you've placed in my hands. Help me to be faithful with my now. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, these past few weeks have been weeks full of a lot of knocking, a lot of seeking, a lot of finding, a lot of answered prayers. And actually, going into the new year also, there were a few specific things that the Lord was telling me to continue praying about and to just pray about, which he's begun to answer. So as you probably saw, the title of today's episode, what we're going to be talking about on today's episode is He Answered. Now what? When God grants the desires of your heart, he answers your prayer, and he places something new in your hands, what are we going to do to take care of that? I think one of the most beautiful things about the God that we serve, the God that we know, is that he is our Father. And since he's our Father, he knows exactly what we need and when we need it. So, just to go back and give you guys a quick little testimony. So on January 1st, I remember waking up and going to have breakfast with my family. It was after, so, it was a really, really, nice morning. It was a beautiful breakfast. I usually don't eat breakfast, but this day, January 1st, I decided to eat breakfast. So we had finished breakfast, and it was just honestly such a special, beautiful moment. It was obviously the new year. We were beginning the day together as a family, and we were just sitting at the dining table, and we were just enjoying our company and just talking. And we got to a point where we decided to all of us go around the table saying what were the desires that we had for this new year. And actually, guys, being very, very honest with you guys, a lot of us were hesitant with these desires that we had. We didn't want to probably like speak them out loud. We didn't want to, maybe get our hopes up. And something that I read once that really, really stuck with me is it's not that we doubt God has the best for us, but we fear how much his best will cost us. And I think that this is incredibly true, guys. I absolutely know, and I have been able to witness that God does want the best for us. God has the best for us. But I also do know that the best is going to cost something, that the best is going to not come around so easy. Because I know that all good things take work and all good things come with a cost. So, we definitely were a little bit, I guess, hesitant with these desires that we had. And like I said, I think part of our humanity is just, yes, we trust God. Yes, we know that he has the best for us, but what is that going to cost? So right before we began to speak these things out, my aunt actually asked me to read in Matthew 7:8. My favorite verse. One of my favorite verses. So I'm going to read it to you guys, and it says, you guys probably know, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds. And to him who knocks, it will be open. So in that very moment, guys, we were trusting God. And our Father, he was listening. And God really, really does care about our wants and our needs, guys. And in his perfect timing, he will respond. And if he maybe hasn't responded yet, you can wait on him, because trusting in God will increase your faith. So, that morning we took these steps of faith, and we begun to speak those things, those desires that we had. When I look at where I am at this very moment, guys, and I see what God has given me, I know that everything that I have is because of God's grace and because he's entrusted me with it. Not because I am deserving of any of this, but because we serve such a good Father, guys, that in his perfect plan, he gives us these things because, again, he knows that we're ready for it, and he knows that we need these things. There was a time where I was praying for the very things that I have right now. And maybe if I look back to when I was praying for those things, I probably wanted those things right now, but it just wasn't God's timing. He was preparing me for those things, and he's preparing you for those things that are yet to come. But, every time that God answers your prayers and places something new in your hands, it's an opportunity to grow your dependency of him. It's an opportunity to get to know him even more. Because everything that we try to hold in our own hands, guys, is just going to melt away. It's just going to crumble away. I can, look back, to times in my life where something was given to me or an opportunity was given to me, and I was not grateful. I was not stewarding that with the Lord. I was just doing it with my own strength, doing it with my own knowledge, and all of those things crumble away, God. So, guys, whenever God places something in your hands, whenever God answers your prayers, like I said, this is an opportunity to grow our dependency of him. To say, Lord, I need you to give me the wisdom to know how to handle this. Lord, I need you to give me the strategies to know how to steward this. I need you to give me what only you can give me in order to keep and hold this that you have given me. So everything, guys, that he gives to us, we owe to him. It's all for his glory, because he's the only one who will sustain all things together. Now, if we actually continue to read chapter 7 of Matthew, I know we just read verses 7 and 8, but if we continue reading in verse 11, I want to read to you guys what it says. And it says, if you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Now, guys, I don't know about you, but I find so much rest in this verse, because God knows our every thought. He knows our every desire. And imagine if our parents who are here on earth, honestly, they don't even know us the way, they don't know us the way God knows us. They don't know all of the thoughts that we're thinking. They probably don't even know like all the things that we do, but they even though they know us and they know that we are not the most, probably perfect people, they still give us these good things. Now, can you imagine God, who is almighty, all powerful, is hearing you go to him and ask for him of these things? I think that one of the biggest thing that moves the heart of God is that when we know that there is no one else for us to go to other than him. There is no one else who is going to be able to sustain anything other than him. So when we come into agreement with the Lord and we say, Lord, I am bringing this to you. This is the desire that I have. And then the Lord, in his grace and in his mercy, he gives us this thing because it is part of his good and perfect will. I don't know about you guys, but me, that fills my heart with so much gratitude. And that fills my heart with so much love, and the fact that he's even considered us, the fact that he's even entrusted us with this thing. It doesn't give us any other choice, guys, than to just depend on him, to trust in him, to continue to have him guide us, to have him be the center of all things. So guys, when God does answer your prayer, when God does grant you this new thing, it's so that he can be glorified, so that you can then look back and then you can testify of his faithfulness, and how you can say that there was no one else that could have given you this or could have made this possible other than God. So to go back to that story that I was telling you guys about, my family on January 1st, I remember we were sitting at the table that morning, and I was actually the last one to go. So after hearing, their desires, and it was such a beautiful moment, guys, because it was, his presence was so tangible that morning. It was really something that I'll never forget. But I remember I was the last one to go, and after hearing, everyone talk about, their desires and their goals for this new year, I remember just like we were all just feeling his presence. We were all crying. It was beautiful. It was so sweet. I remember just crying and just saying, guys, I was on the other side last year. Like, I had so many desires. I had so many aspirations, goals. But now going into this new year, my biggest desire is just to be faithful with what he's given me, with what he's answered. And that's going to be my prayer for you guys, that when he answers those things, because I believe that our eyes will see it, that he help us to be faithful, that he help us to not forget that it wasn't because of our own means, that it wasn't because we deserved it, but it was because he wants to be glorified. It's honestly a beautiful place to be in, and it's a blessing to be in a time where you can say, I'm living in answered prayers. It really does increase your gratitude and your dependency for him. We cannot forget about him, guys, when he answers our prayers, because, again, the only reason we have what we have is because of him. So we cannot stop looking for him and stop seeking him when we have these things. In fact, we have to continue seeking him, continue fervently looking for his guidance and looking for his wisdom, because he's the only one who will be able to sustain these things. And maybe you're sitting watching and listening and you're saying, well, Nikki, there's still a lot of things that I'm praying, or that I've been praying, that I feel like God is not answering. And you're probably right. And I've been there too, and I am there too. There are plenty of things that I'm praying about that I have not seen tangible with my eyes yet. But you can rest assured that God is listening, and that in his perfect timing, and if it is in his perfect will, he will answer. So right now, he's just preparing you. He's teaching you something, and you just have to be faithful with your now. faithful with whatever he's trying to teach you right now, faithful with whatever he's trying to get your attention about right now. And believe me and trust me, that in itself is a blessing, because God is never going to give you something that he knows you're not ready for. God is never going to give you something that he knows you cannot handle. So the best thing we can do, guys, in every season, because no season goes to waste, is continue to remain in him. Continue to ask him, Lord, help me to be present in my now. Open my eyes to see things the way that you do. Open my ears to hear things, to listen to what you want me to understand, so that I can be ready for my next. So to end tonight's episode, we have to learn with the help of the Holy Spirit, which is our counselor, our sweet, sweet friend, and just ask him, I need you to be my helper. I need you to help me learn how to be faithful with my now, so that I could receive my next. I need you to help me to be obedient with few, so that I can be entrusted with more. Help me to be grateful with what I have now. Help me to cherish what I have now, so that the things that I am praying for right now, when they come, I am ready. I read something one time that said, those who leave everything in God's hand will see God's hand in everything. And that in itself, guys, is such a word. So I just want to encourage you, wherever it is that you are right now, if you're seated in your living room, in your car, in your bedroom, wherever it is that you are, that you just take a moment right now and you really think in all of the things that the Lord has answered, and ask yourself, am I being faithful to what he's given me? And if you are or you're not, wherever it is your answer is, just thank him and say, Lord, help me to be faithful with my now. Help me to be obedient with what you've given me, with what you've asked of me, so that we together can move forward to our next. So I want to invite you to go ahead and share this video with someone who you think that it could be a blessing to. If you have been blessed by this video, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, I want to share with you guys our socials. On Instagram, you can find us at Knox Podcast. If you want to follow my personal social, we'll share it on there too. And yeah, stay tuned, guys, for what is yet to come. I pray that God's peace be with you. And until next time, bye, guys.